Hi guys, so week 34 I guess it is. I'm kind of losing track now that we get closer, but yeah, so nothing has really changed since the last update, and I don't know, symptom wise nothing really. I've had 2 chiropractor adjustments since the last video I made. I think I did. Or I had one before and then one after the last video. I'm not sure. But anyways, I've had 2 chiropractor adjustments since then. And 2 Webster techniques done as well to try to help the baby change positions. And I'm still doing a lot of hands and knees, aversions, you name it. I'm trying to do it, sitting forward more, meditating, you know, all that good stuff, trying to encourage the baby to go head down. And someone asked me if I would get, oh my gosh, I can't even remember what it's called. I was just reading about it too. Oh, that's a pregnancy symptom. Losing your mind in a sense of not remembering what things are called, and you know it's called, but it's just like if it were to be like a candle or something, we're like, yeah, you know that thing, you know, the thing you light with a lighter or a match, and it like has a fire on the on a wick, you know that thing? Yeah, a candle. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. Get sidetracked there. The thing that the OBs do, they manually move the baby even though the baby's inside you. And they use ultrasounds, and sometimes they'll give you an epidural, and sometimes they can get the baby to move, but the baby could move back, and it can also have a chance of rupturing your membranes and also putting you into labor. So I don't want to risk that. The risk factors associated with that, I don't want to risk that. As well as my philosophy of pregnancy is kind of, I'll do more of the natural ways to encourage baby to move. But if baby really doesn't want to move, then baby doesn't want to move. And I don't want to force something that was not naturally needed. And that's, I feel like if the baby's not going to move, even though I'm trying all these natural routes, then obviously there's a reason for it, and the baby has determined that being in a breech position is what's best for that baby. Tiger! Tiger! If you hear that crinkling, my cat is playing with tissue paper. Anywho, so there's that. Baby is still, I'm pretty sure, still head up. Pretty sure is still head up. Goes from frank breech position, which is feet all the way up near its head, to feet off to the side, and then down below, which is, I think, kind of like complete breech. It might even be a foot-length breech sometimes with how the movements I get sometimes, but baby moves all over the place. So yeah. Now another topic that I wanted to bring up was that is whether I'm going to be breastfeeding or formula feeding this baby. And kind of a back history of Dagny. We were kind of, I don't want to say I felt victim, because I really wasn't really a victim, but I wasn't educated enough to decline the NICU nurses and stuff with the whole formula feeding. I mean, he got my colostrum. We nursed on and off into the NICU, got home. We were having a hard time because his sucking was still bad from his his breathing issues, that he wasn't getting enough out of me, so I ended up pumping, and then I ended up bottle feeding the pumped milk and supplementing with formula as well. And then we ended up having the formula cause a lot of health issues for him, and eventually I stopped pumping and he was just straight formula, and then we had even more health problems because he was just on straight formula. And one thing led to another. He had to be on like a special, very expensive, like $1,000 a month formula. I know. If you can imagine formula would cost that much, it did. And so I ended up relactating, and he got like pretty much 90% breast milk, maybe even more breast milk a day, and a little bit of a top-up of the hypoallergenic formula. Anywho, so I didn't really go into really much of why I also didn't stick with actual breastfeeding and him being at the breast and stuff, because just having a lot of issues with postpartum depression, hormones, and my past history of being sexually abused, and my breasts actually being the main focus when I was being sexually abused. So it kind of intertwined with breastfeeding, and I just couldn't deal with the mental, emotional stuff that came along with that. I wasn't strong enough. So I gave up on the whole breastfeeding thing and just went pumping, from breastfeeding to pumping and bottle feeding. So this little one, I am bound and determined to not use formula at all, to use all breast milk, whether it be at my breast or be via bottle. My first obviously is going to be trying to breastfeed, and I have some resources that I've been reading. I read through my breastfeeding books again that I have, and I read with my son's pregnancy. I've looked up information online. I've looked up like blogs and information about sexual abuse and the whole breastfeeding issue and how to cope with it, as well as what I can do to like kind of keep me on a more of a mental and emotional positive level. And I've written a list of lactation consultants in my area and surrounding area, as well as the contact for the Lailachi League leader that's for my town and the surrounding towns. And I have the SNS, which is the supplemental nursing system that I can use if I'm not producing enough or something, but I still want the baby at the breast. I'm going to be bringing a little syringe and a little cup to the hospital if breastfeeding is not being able to happen or something like that. Say baby's in the NICU and I can't get into the NICU. I'm going to get them to syringe feed or cup feed so that there will be no bottles involved, because that also kind of messed up the flow of the nipple of the bottle, kind of messed up with the whole breastfeeding stuff too. So I have a lot of resources, I've read a lot, and so on and so forth. So I'm kind of prepared for as best as I can, but ultimately if I honestly can't handle mentally and emotionally with the whole breastfeeding stuff because of my past, I will go to pumping. I really don't want to because it restricts you so much being an exclusive pumper, but that is the next best thing, is still the baby to get breast milk, but via bottle. And I will be doing probably the majority of the bottle feeding anyways, so it won't be too bad for bonding and so on and so forth, and that's how it was with Dagny as well. Formula will be an absolutely last resort. I would rather cut off my arm before having to pay for very, very expensive formula again, because I will not give this baby any formula that contains dairy in it or soy. So that is kind of where I'm at with the whole breastfeeding versus formula, breastfeeding versus bottle feeding, pumping, all that good old stuff. So yeah, but anyways, I think that's about it for this vlog. I just wanted to brush up on one of the main topics that I've been kind of thinking about in this pregnancy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Any suggestions, I don't know, anything like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna get going, and there's not gonna be a tummy shot today, but next week I will update you guys because I will have had a midwife appointment then as well. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.